you sure it's appropriate? I mean, will he understand it? He's barely a year old.
My Codswallop, my pappy had me listening to old Gregorius Garrett when I was still in the womb. So my ma couldn't give birth to just a baby. That's right, she gave birth to the maelstrom.
Okay.
Damn right. Now, let's get started. That's right. It's time for your education, Lyndon. Some good old, some of the good old social studies.
I need a coffee.
Me too. Dark as night. Let's see here. Play. There we go.
Hello again, Darklander. I am Gregorius Garrett, and welcome back to Darklanders 101, where your survival is my academia. In this lesson, I thought we'd all benefit from a spot of history. The Valley, as it is called, is the region in the Republic where one can find the former cities of Los Angeles, Anaheim, Rancho Arenosa, and Santa Ana. Of course, when one looks at a map of Southern California in the world before, they'll find a completely different landscape. Many Republic citizens know well of the great earthquake known as the Big One. Although such disasters are hardly new in the West Coast region, the Big One was, well, the big one foretold by seismologists. However, it seems like the cruel twist of fate that such a cataclysm would strike the Republic so soon after Black Halloween. I am sure for many, it was as though the world was ending all over again. The Big One devastated the West Coast, with its desolation leveling the cities of Santa Monica all the way down to San Diego. Even the great city of San Francisco felt the full might of the quake, which has led to the formation of the aptly named city of San Fran. Occupying the former territory of Los Angeles, there are several settlements. Scraper City, a faction that took over the titular Los Angeles skyscrapers, living the good life above the bad, as they said. Charming folks. Then there was Easttown, made from the ruins of East Los Angeles, which was locked in combat against nearby Rosemead and Pasadena. Easttown had a particularly major Hispanic population, so when their neighbor Rosemead was taken over by a neo-American cult, they were quick to act, knowing the atrocities such a movement had had against their ancestors. Rosemead's regime, however, didn't last long. Pressure from Pasadena and their sworn nemesis, the Inland Empire to the east, drove the would-be dictators from the territory. However, when stained in blood, grudges become branded onto the souls of the survivors. Pasadena was largely independent, cannibalizing Glendale and Santa Clarita, but it never rose to the same scale as Easttown or Scraper City. It wasn't until it was invaded and annexed by the Inland Empire that it gained some sort of prosperity and identity. With such radical differences, it would take quite a force to pressure these colonies to the point where past grievances are forgiven. But when an army of slavers from Merced managed to conquer Hollywood, it prompted the Valley War. I myself have had experience on this particular battlefield. It was an odd yet relieving sight to see berserkers from the Inland Empire throwing themselves in the same ranks as the bots of Scraper City. It was also here that the warriors of Easttown made their mark, cutting deep into the front lines of the slavers and pushing them back with each passing day. But at the fringe of the charge, one would see a man whose blood did not run through the valley, a man now revered in the Republic as a great hero. I'm sure you already could guess to whom I refer. Seth McCaffrey. Yes, before he was slaying Lee Javiers in Seattle, he was firing cannons alongside the people of the valley, scoring many victories for the colonies. It was Seth McCaffrey himself who ultimately concocted the strategy that would win the war. The enemy was surrounded, having greatly underestimating the fighting spirit of the valley. As McCaffrey predicted, the slavers foolishly tried to break out, so he pushed them north. The The slavers then found their escape blocked by rocks and debris. The big one had sealed the mountain pass of Highway 5. They were trapped. They were finished. To date, the slavers of Merced referred to the Valley War as the Valley Massacre, and for a good reason. The slavers who surrendered were fed to the roving mobs of Fuglies that roamed the streets, and those who didn't, well, we don't need to go into that. Let's just say that the trails that litter the mountain range of the Grapevine have several unique scarecrows to warn malevolent forces of the fate that awaits them. Among the many heroes of the war, Seth McCaffrey was among the most decorated. He even found the woman who would be his wife on that battlefield. McCaffrey headed north to one day become the savior of Seattle, but to the valley, he is the Angel of War. Today, the valley is well remembered as a relatively safe haven. The colonies, despite their pasts, have managed to broker peace between them. Caravans delivering supplies are a common sight on the roads, and the bots of Scraper City have even lowered their flags to join with Easttown, their territory renamed the Scraper District, a popular shopping and vacation spot for wary Darklanders, provided they carry the right amount of tabs, or provide good trade. Further east, rumors persist of a great treasure from the world before, the fabled Feast of Four Cities. As a result, the eastern lands of the valley are often flocking with scrappers, hoping to find the key to that particular chest. However, by the time of this lesson, no one has ever found it. As for the hero Seth McCaffrey, the Angel of War, the cannons of the slavers were melted down, and a statue of him was erected in the spot of his greatest victory. Instead of the crumbling ruins of Highway 5, one will see a visage of heroism and greatness, the likes of which the Dark Lands has rarely seen before. And that, my friend, is where we leave off. I will be doing further extensive observations of other regions in the Republic and beyond, but for now make do with the information you've been given. In the Dark Lands there are few places one can call safe. I am Gregarious Garrett, and I'll see you in the next installment of Darklanders 101. That was for you, Roy.
Now, did you enjoy good old Oh. Isn't that the cutest? He's asleep.
Told you he was too young.
Nah, he's fine. I used to fall asleep to these all the time, too. Now wait until he hears about the Crimson Legion. Dad, not that one. Now look what you loudmouths did. Come here, little boy. Grandpa's got you. Oh, coochie, coochie, coo. Oh, even cuter than you, Clyde.